Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, the Head, welcome back to the Baseball Head, and hopefully you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. So here, we're talking about something positive, and not be the negative dark hut. We're going to talk about Mets prospects here, what to expect and who to expect to be here in 2026. Obviously, the Mets had a whole bunch of prospects get here, specifically Nolan, McLeans, Jonah, Tongs, and Sproats all made starts for the Mets the last month and a half to varying degrees of success. Nolan McLeans was excellent. Jonah Tongs was a disaster. But there's promise, and Sproats is promised too. But let's be honest, they're not all going to make it. So we're going to go through a whole bunch of other players. I've not read this article yet. A lot of times I don't read the article before I do the video just to get my honest, more sort of my first thoughts are on it. So here we go from SNY. After the rise of elite Mets pitching prospects, who should fans watch out for next? New York has several arms and upper minors with big league potential that could make impact in 2026. When Nolan McLeans, Sproats, and Jonah Tongs made their major league debuts and became potential factors, if the Mets made the postseason, that was a big step for the burgeoning Mets pitching development system. Now, I thought it was unfair that they brought these kids up and hoped that they would help propel the Mets to get the postseason. I thought that was a major strike against David Stearns, that he had to rely on these three kids to get the Mets to the postseason. In the past, the Mets have had an anchor. I use 2016 as a good example of the Mets calling Seth Lugo and Robert Gazelman to help them get to the postseason that year. But the Mets had Noah Syndergaard at the top of the rotation, pitching great, even though they had interest to Matt Harvey and Jacob deGrom to finish the season. They got a lot out of Noah, and he was the ace of that staff. But I thought what they did with these three young guys this year was unfair. Rebuilding a minor league system and a program is something that takes time and investment in both personal and technology. After Steve Cohen bought the Mets, that investment grew exponentially. Pitching Lab has been the center of discussion at times, but that's just a physical building in Port St. Lucie. That building means little if you don't have the right technology in it or the right coaches and instructors to help groom these young pitchers. Most importantly, pitchers who buy into it. Now, a couple of things. The Mets fired Jeremy Hefner, which they needed to do. He was the pitching coach with the Mets, and he needed to get fired. I mean, let's all be honest. He was a guy that needed to go, and the Mets did the right thing, and they got rid of him, and they had to, because the result of the last 5 years has not been good, quite frankly, in my opinion. The Mets hired Eric Jaggers for the 23 season to be their director of pitching development. And 3 seasons since that, Jaggers has been promoted to the role of vice president of pitching and assembled a strong support staff under him that has led to the Mets recently being ranked as the #1 farm system for pitching prospects in all of baseball by MLB Pipeline. Part of that is the fact that McLeans, Tongs, and Sproats are big play development wins at 3rd, 7th, and 2nd round picks, respectively. They all have emerged to not just be among the best pitching prospects in the sport, but they are the real options to count on as part of the 26 starting rotation. Now, a couple of things. I have another channel called The Prospect Hut, and I followed these guys for a long time. Jonah Tongs was drafted in 2022. He, for the first 2 years of his time with the Mets, utter disaster. Walking the ballpark, not being able to throw strikes. He was a kid from Canada that moved down here around the pandemic. He wanted to play and be noticed. He got drafted in the 7th round. In 2022, he had been nowheresville in the Mets minor leagues. But the last 2 seasons in 24 and 25, he took major steps to be probably the best pitching prospect in the game. Now, from what I saw, he's got a lot of work ahead of him. I mean, he needs to grow up a little bit, maturity-wise. He got experience that they should have given him more time in AAA and not called him up. But he is a player that is a win. Now, Nolan McLeans is a different story. He came from a pretty big program from Oklahoma. But as a two-way player, and he's a third baseman reliever, he has exploded on the scene after giving up being an everyday player last year and he had a big year this year, and he pitched really well. Very impressed with him. And Brandon Sprout, the Mets drafted him twice. Once in 22 in the third round, and then in 23 in the second round, excuse me. So he's a big prospect that they've had good feelings for a very long time. So they're in good shape in terms of them. A lot of it has to do with health. We'll see the development of them. They're going to be spending some time in the minor leagues next year, I think. As a number one ranking doesn't come just because of three pitchers. As the writer wrote last week, the sign of a functioning player development system is avoiding multi-year gaps and generating young talent for the big league roster. At some point in 2026, McLeans, Tongs, and Sproats are going to graduate as prospects. As it currently stands, the Mets don't have a pitching prospect that can currently rival any of the above three's prospect status. However, there are several arms in the upper minors with big league potential that could impact the Mets as soon as 2026. On the reliever front, there are two notable right-handed fireballs that should get an opportunity to play meaningful games at some point in 26. Number 19 ranked Dylan Ross, who he was called up late in the season but didn't play, and number 21 ranked Ryan Lambert. These guys are extremely hard. Now the next grouping the names on the starting pitching front, most of the Eastern League champion Double-A Binghamton run points rotation are ranked among SNY's top 30 prospects in the Mets system and look like future big leaguers. I guess barring injury, of course. Those names are number 10 prospect Jonathan Santucci, number 11 prospect Jack Wenninger, number 14 prospect Will Watson, and number 24 prospect Zach Thorne. He's a lefty, two lefties and two righties. It may be a numbers game to determine which of these will start in AAA. We should not forget both McLeans and Tongs started 25 in Double-A. Santucci, a second-round pick at 24, struggled in his first 6 professional starts, posting an 8.14 ERA in 21 innings. Wenninger, a 6th-round pick in 2023, really impressed the Mets brass in 25. He spent the whole season with Binghamton, where he posted a 2.92 ERA and 135 2/3 innings, and ranked second in the Eastern League in strikeouts at 147. Watson, a 7th-round pick in 24, split time as a starter and a reliever while at college at USC. 2025 was his first year as a full-time starter. He emerged as a top 30 prospect preseason inside the top 15 by August. That's the one thing about pitching prospects. These guys can come from out of nowhere to be a big prospect. Zach Thorne may have made it to AAA during the 25 season had he not injured his oblique at the end of June, which wiped out the remainder of his season. In 72 2/3 innings he did pitch, the former 5th-round pick posted a 1.98 ERA of 78 strikeouts and only 11 walks. It's a lefty. He is the best strike thrower in not just the organization, but all minor league baseball. Wow. Among pitchers that threw at least 70 innings, he led all minor league baseball in whip of 0.81 and was second in walks per 9 innings of 1.36. Thornton is not a flamethrower or a hard thrower, as he will top out at 94 in his fastball, but he controls a 4-pitch mix that also includes a slider, curveball, and changeup. A few other names currently outside the top 30 that are worth keeping an eye on are Jay Gordon, Saul Garcia, and Brendan Gertzen. On the consistent trends here, none of the names I mentioned were first-round picks, and all but Sproat and Santucci were outside the top 2 rounds. That is a credit to the amateur scouting development department identifying the talent, as well as the pitch development department helping maximize the pitchers in the organization. While McLeans, Tongs, and Sproat emerged on the scene in 25, there's another wave coming, and if the Mets continue their development plan, there will be another wave after that. Well, we'll see. The Mets have drafted a lot of pitchers in the last 2 years. They drafted a lot of pitchers in 2024, and some of these guys are from 2024. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut. Now, before you go, a couple of things. I have memberships here on the Baseball Hut. I wish you would take advantage of it. Also, I am on Facebook, where I'm getting very close, and we're getting very close to 6,000 followers on there, amazingly enough. And I have subscriptions available there, and they're basically 99 cents a month. So if you want to be a supporter of me on there as well, it's a great way to help out the channel. all of your support over the many years of doing these videos was able to get me this new home that I have. And I would really like to improve this channel. I always talk about it, but I need your help to help me with this channel. So whenever you send me a super thanks or super chat, or you subscribe to me on Facebook, it is a great way to support me and to improve the audio of this channel, the video of this channel, and everything else. I would mention on Facebook I have plenty of highlights from seasons past. I post baseball cards, images of players past and present, and it's a little bit different there. It's very active. It's a very active community there. So I would hope that you go in there and subscribe. It's a great way to support your host, and maybe in a cheaper way than maybe here if you become a member. So thank you for watching this video. Of course, please follow me on Facebook, subscribe to me on the Baseball Hut on YouTube, and I'll see you later.